Good morning, everyone. This is Joe. I am here at beautiful Kennywood. It's in the afternoon. It's beautiful now. This morning it was kind of hell. But we are here at Kennywood in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Today's their second day of operations for the park preview for the annual pass holders. I just went to the park, so let's go inside and I'll tell you what the experience is like. Alrighty, so as we can see, they've shut down the escalators, and it was kind of rainy this morning. Yeah, it was wild. It was misting all day, and it was kind of miserable in a way. But oddly enough, the masks are perfectly fine. I was more uncomfortable from just having the rain. Now, as we're approaching the bottom lot, we also see that, well, it's still closed. Didn't open in the minute that I walked. Now, Kennywood has these two giant tents to the right, as you see here, and then you'll see one on the left. These are external outdoor cues that are set up for the temperature scans. So what they are socially distanced cues with switchbacks, and we'll show you some of the video inside. And what this is basically, a switchback cue. Not much to really describe that. So when you get to the front of the queue, you will have your temperature scanned, and also if you don't have a mask, you can purchase a mask. They have masks and garters. I don't know how to pronounce that. But they're Kennywood themed ones, which is cool, except that they're $20. Not so much cool. So as you can see, they have these little markers. They are 6 feet apart. The problem is, people like to not be 6 feet apart. So I had a lady who was on my ankles the whole time during this. But mostly everyone was trying to follow it the best they can. It seems like a lot of people just not used to this sort of thing, so they're still getting acclimated. So also, Kennywood had this right at the entrance to the park, where they noted what the procedures and policies are for COVID. So as we walk into the park, some notes for this year. This year, they are closing a lot of the playground areas. So what they had called the Steelers Experience, I believe it's called, is a new interactive kind of like football area near Steel Curtain. That is closed, along with the Thomas the Tank Engine playground that was indoors and air conditioning. That one's closed also. And there were several closed attractions throughout the day that are not expected to be open later on in the year, but we're just closed today. But we'll get to those in a little bit. So as we're walking down, we are passing through the iconic Kennywood Tunnel in the classic Steelers black and yellow. It smelled like fresh paint in here. You know they just painted this. And it was kind of nice to be back, I'm not going to lie. Even with all the craziness that happened with reopening. They were supposed to reopen on July 6th. Then the county did a stay-at-home order, which they then modified, which allowed Kennywood to reopen on the 10th yesterday. So it was about a 4-day delay. Now, for anyone who's been in Kennywood knows, something's missing here. Yes, I think it's Cowboy Joe, the sit-down character, is missing. They just removed him. Probably a good idea. From, having people touch him and such. So the other cool thing with Kennywood is that a lot of their stuff does remain open. So here's a socially distanced arcade. You wait inside. There's a certain amount of people. They're mask zone areas. They're mask-free areas, as I think they call them. I forget. They are continually cleaned and sanitized. They have cast members out there who are just spraying down the benches and spraying down all the different kinds of just surfaces. Now, but it's kind of amazing, though. Kennywood had almost everything open, which was kind of weird. All the food locations open, that is. I was expecting to see a lot of these places closed. There's a few, like a Dippin' Dots and a Beaver Tails over there on the left that were closed, but a lot of the random just food locations were totally open. So if you wanted some fried Oreos or a corn dog or what have you not, totally open, totally fine. So that's cool. The games were open. But today, there was a few things closed just for today. The Sky Swing was closed, along with the paddle boats. Racer, of course, open, and we just passed by the Jackrabbit, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary, I want to say, this year. Yeah, that sounds about right. That is also open today. One notable exception, not open today. Definitely a disappointment, to say the least, is Steel Curtain in Steelers country. I was really looking forward to seeing how they would do social distancing and how the queue would look, and also just to check out the Steelers merch, because I think if there's one place you can want to get some Steelers merch at that's not at Heinz Field, it's actually Kennywood. They have a pretty good selection. But yeah, Steelers County is closed, but as you can see on the left, the Fried Oreo place is still open. And that buzzer is my oven. Thanks, oven. Really appreciate that. So Steelers County, country, whatever. Totally closed. They're expecting it to open with the rest of the park on Monday, but right now it is closed. So as we're walking through the rest of the park, we are coming up on the rest of Steel Curtain, going over the lagoon, and we're passing by one of our favorite places, the Beer Jail. Beer Jail was unfortunately closed, which sucked because we love a beer jail and all that stuff. But a new place opened, Rogue Barbecue. They had a temporary stand last year, but now they have a permanent stand with some fantastic food, as you can see with the menu here. Not the most affordable options, always, but it was fantastic. This is the brisket sliders, so as you can tell. Also some things that were closed we're going to go through now. Noah's Ark, closed for your safety, not reopening this year. Also closes the 4D Theater. This is also going to be closed for the remainder of the year for obvious reasons. It's an indoor attraction. They've replaced all the coming soon with their COVID posters. And this is my usual time where I say how much I hate the San Andreas 4D experience. It is just the worst thing in the world. Just absolute terrible garbage. Hated it. It made me angry. So despite the social distancing markers in this queue, unfortunately the Anton Schwarzkopf Classic Byron Curve is closed this season. Boo. Not sure why, but unfortunately it's closed. And if you've never been on the Byron Curve, it is absolutely fantastic and wonderful, and just all sorts of superlatives for that attraction. Also closed is Spider, or the Spider, Black Widow, I forget what they call it. Yeah, I think it's Black Widow. You see, you know, it's your home park, and you just completely drop the ball on what the giant Huss Frisbee thingy is. I know it's not Huss, but you get the idea. So yeah, Black Widow, totally closed. Another closed thing, the drinking fountain. The mushroom drinking fountain, totally closed. So another thing, because of the county restrictions, food locations are no longer allowed to be open indoors. What you have to do is take the food out. So the cafe, along with Johnny Rockets and the Touchdown Cafe, I think it's Touchdown Cafe? Yeah, that sounds about right. All closed. Johnny Rockets, takeout only. And I'm in the mirror, as you can see me. And, yeah, so it kind of sucks, but understandable. Hopefully they'll open later on in the year when and if indoor restaurant dining is permitted. Now, let's get real, and, oh, yeah, here, if you want to see a menu, here's your, go get your smokehouse burger for $9. We make it a black bean burger, too, I guess. So the reason why we're all here is for the Old Mill's back. Yay! The Old Mill. It's the classic. For about 16 years, it was Garfield's nightmare. Very odd attraction, gonna say that. But the Old Mill, new sign, new storyline, and it's pretty interesting. I like it. It's not, it's not gonna blow you away or anything like that. It is very much in the vein of like cheap Halloween in a way, but I mean that in the best way, where it's like a lot of figures and props moving. So let's take a look at the Old Mill. So that was my day at Kennywood. I only got on a few rides, only did a few things, but I really want to just check out and see how the park was handling everything. I think Kennywood is doing a good job. I think they are being forward-thinking in some of their policies and procedures. The problem is that not all the guests are on the same page. All it takes is one jerk not to follow the social distancing guidelines, and all of a sudden a whole queue is totally ruined. Especially one that is a switchback that goes back and back and back. I saw that several times. One interesting thing is that I noticed that when it was raining, people just had a lower tolerance for social distancing and following the rules. So keep that in mind when you go to the parks. For the general park day, operations, I would give a C. Things are a little rough, especially with annual pass holder processing. That's kind of a given at Kennywood. They have minimal annual pass holder capabilities for processing, and then when you invite a bunch of people over, it's kind of hard to do everything. Mask compliance, I'd give a B-. I saw everyone wearing masks, and the instances where they weren't wearing masks, it was a situation where, for example, it's kids running over to see the Pittsburgh Plunge. They were eating and then they ran over to see the Pittsburgh Plunge and they're not wearing masks. Or someone leaving the restroom and they didn't put their mask on. Or a man walking up and going to order and took off his mask and he was told to put it back on. situations that. A lot more people not knowing how to wear the masks properly. But even then, still B-. Social distancing, I would give a D, a big fat D, because I had people standing right behind me who may note that they should be social distancing, but they were not. Even though there are markers, they are 6 foot apart, and some parties are much larger and take up the whole space. They take up more than 6 feet, so that doesn't work as well. Would I suggest you go into Kennywood? If you feel comfortable going to an outdoor place with a lot of people around, such as an outdoor mall, then go to Kennywood. I don't see an issue. If that idea of going to an outdoor mall with a lot of people around wearing masks is still a problem for you, then don't go. It's pretty simple as that. Anyway, make sure to subscribe to In the Loop, and you can follow me at Parkscope Joe on Twitter. And I'll see you guys at the parks, hopefully sometime soon.